On today's video, I'll be showing you how to replace the weather stripping around your door. The first thing you want to do is you want to determine what type of weather stripping you have on your door. There are various kinds of weather strippings I've seen on older homes. These are more on modern homes, this type of weather stripping, or you'll have other doors that have sticky weather strippings that you stick on and apply. For instance, on this garage door, this has the weather stripping that you actually pull and you stick on and apply onto the door. This particular one that we're going to be removing and installing, these actually have a little tab that inserts into the door jamb. There's a little slit right here if you can see it, and it basically just slides in and you just basically apply pressure to insert it. The issue is with these door jambs is because of paint, they start to lose that spongy feeling. It gets very hard, and you can see here like it just pulls out. The whole thing just literally pulls out because it no longer has that nice bounce texture to it. Now I have run into issues where, because the door jamb has been painted multiple times throughout the years, you'll find that this right here is painted over and it literally acts as an adhesive, and so removing the weather stripping is almost impossible. So what you'll have to do is, and be very careful when you're doing it, you'll have to take your blade, your razor, and you'll have to score all the way down to the bottom. Give it a nice clean score, and as you do that, that will help you separate the actual weather stripping from the door jamb. Now, there are times where even after you score it, it's still literally stuck in there, and you're gonna have to use something to give you leverage to pull it out. And at first you may pull it out and it may come out in pieces, but eventually if you pull down, keep pulling in the right spot, you'll find that the whole thing will come out. This one comes out by hand, which is very simple and easy to do. But in a case where you find yourself where it's very difficult to pull out, like I said, you'll just use something to pry it out like this, and you'll keep working. Many ways that you can measure your new compression weather stripping. You can take the old one and measure it with the new one and just cut it with your scissors. You can use a measuring tape. There's some times where you can actually just start installing the new compression weather stripping, work your way up, and when you get to the top, you cut it with your scissors. However you decide to do it is up to you. Just keep in mind when you're doing the weather stripping that you have two ways to put it. You can put it on the left side and on the right side, so just make sure that if you're cutting it and measuring it, that you're putting it in the right way according to its side. What I mean by that is, if you take the weather stripping and you start it on this side, this is the improper way to install it. You would actually have to flip it around and start from this end to insert it, where the tab is facing against flush with the door jamb. So just make sure if you're going to cut it with the old weather stripping that you're cutting it from the right side. You're installing your new weather stripping. Make sure when you're installing it that you slide it flush to the bottom. I've seen a lot of times where guys will just cut it too short and then they'll leave a gap on the bottom. So make sure it's flush to the bottom, and then go ahead and start pressing the compression weather stripping into the door jamb. And we're going to work our way all the way up to the top. To install your compression weather stripping, you'll want to make sure you have a nice tight seal. If you see any gaps like this, just push it in and work your way all the way down to the bottom. A nice tight seal, and we're going to finish replacing the weather stripping on the other two sides. Again, you're following the same procedure when you're working on the top. Make sure it's nice and tight to the end to give it a nice tight seal. Once you finish installing your new weather stripping, go ahead and close the door, and then you'll want to check to make sure that there's no light coming through around the door. If this video was a help, please subscribe.